We are here because we are dedicated to helping members of our community build lean, strong bodies and confident, resilient minds. Determined to elevate the lives of working professionals, stay-at-home parents, and anyone who is ready to level up their life. Our invigorating group fitness classes, practical nutrition programs, and authentic coaches help ignite your life. Find a place that believes in you. Find a place that challenges you. Find CrossFit Southpaw. All right, we are here today with Kelly Bock, my wife, the probably beauty and brains behind the operation. We wanted to bring Kelly on today so you can get a little more of an inside view into her life, maybe what it's like being the wife of a CrossFit affiliate owner, and kind of what she does with her training. She's also recently took part in our nutrition challenge, and want to talk to her a little bit about that because she's still using that methodology today, having success with it. So Kelly, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, I'm excited to be here.
All right. Well, Kel, tell us a little bit about how you got started with CrossFit.
It was, I think, the beginning of 2015 or 16. And I had a friend that I used to go to like the big box gyms with, and we do group fitness classes together. And she was trying out a boot camp at a CrossFit gym, and she just randomly invited me one day to drop in with her, and she didn't tell the coach she was bringing me, and I just showed up, and it was actually the test out day for boot camp, like the end of the 6-week boot camp. And the coach just kind of like figured out a way to like give me a good workout. And I can't even remember. I think it was, like as many box jumps as you could do in a minute, and probably like push-ups and wall balls. I don't even remember. And at the end of the class, I just had a conversation with the coach, and she asked if I wanted to, come in to do like a baseline workout with her. And so I did that a few days later, and then I joined. And when I first joined, I kind of slowly integrated myself into CrossFit. So I was still really stuck on doing the group fitness class thing. And I think I started like 2 or 3 days a week while still doing big box gym. And I think it probably took like at least a year and a half for me to go full-time CrossFit.
Tell me a little bit about that. When you had a kind of fitness methodology that you were already doing, you got exposed to this new thing, CrossFit. What was it about the CrossFit workouts or the CrossFit environment that attracted you, or that you saw something different than what you were currently doing?
I mean, at first there was I was so stuck on, because I grew up in dance. And so everything that I ever did, was choreographed to music. And so I loved like the counts of 8, and being in a group fitness class or doing like a Zumba style workout. It was pretty like natural and easy to me to keep doing that. But
so talk like real quick for those who aren't familiar with that. The counts of 8 refers to doing movement in along with music, kind of in a predetermined pattern, right?
Yeah. And so I was kind of getting that same feel with like group fitness or the choreographed movements in a classes. I kind of knew what to expect, or it was a good and bad thing that I started to like memorize it when you'd go to a class and, you do the same song or the same routine. And so I liked that, but I started to get really bored, because for other people, it might take them longer to pick up on something, or it might still feel really new, but a new like release or something of workouts would come out in a class, and they would do the same thing for like 6 weeks in a row. And so for me to do the same thing, I was getting pretty bored. I still enjoyed it, but I think that's why I kind of mixed for a while, because going to CrossFit, of course, like the music is loud and fun, but you're definitely not choreographed to music at all. But I think I was also looking for a new challenge. I was a little bored, and CrossFit was kind of the thing that I hadn't done yet. And I had been in some like networking groups. There was an affiliate owner of a different gym in the cities, and I had like toured the gym, and I had never seen like the barbells like that before, and the rig, like the pull-up rig with the rings. And I was like, what is this? So it was kind of this thing I was a little nervous about, but in me, I was also like, okay, when is it going to be the time that I'm going to try it and do it?
Well, you've certainly made that jump now.
Yeah.
So this is fast forwarding a lot, but you've been at a number of different gyms, whether it's when you're traveling and dropping into a gym down in Texas, different gyms throughout the Twin Cities area. And you've been with me as we've opened Southpaw. Tell me a little bit about what you see as at Southpaw, or what kind of things that you've noticed or helped design and implement.
Oh, geez, that's a big question.
Yeah.
Okay, so we know I have biases about how much I love Southpaw, but I think the what's the word you always use, like the difference between like community and culture. So
Culture, yeah.
the culture that we have at the gym, I'm so proud of it, and how new people are integrated into the gym, and it's not fake. It's just people are just like nice and they care about each other, and people are professionals and they're in relationships, they have kids, they have other commitments outside of the gym, but they come in, and yeah, you can be as competitive as you want. You find those friends that you push each other more, but also people are just there to support you and get a good workout in. I really like the programming that we have, and just a good support system and people that I like working out with, if that answers your question.
Yeah. Real quick, so Kelly was talking about the difference between culture and community, and I think that's important to break down and an important distinction to make. So communities ebb and flow over time, and it's defined as by the people that make it up, right? And that's necessarily in any organization, group, tribe, whatever it happens to be. It's going to change as time passes, given enough time. Culture, though, is something that is less amorphous. It's going to hopefully stand the test of time, but culture doesn't necessarily have to be good, right? It can be bad or it can be absent. And having a culture that helps drive the community is going to help us go in the same direction, have the same types of intentions and goals, and hopefully help drive the community together as an overarching kind of framework. So that's kind of the distinction that we talk about. And culture creation and creating culture can be very difficult, and it's a long-term kind of thing that you have to commit to. It isn't a singular action. It's how the coaches show up. It's how the communication is given or received. It's how the language that you use, the expectations that are set, and the people that make it up, right? So we're fortunate to have a lot of people. Our demographic is kind of middle of their life. They're taking care of their parents, the people that are older than them. They're taking care of the people that are younger than them, their children, nieces, nephews. And they have a lot of responsibility. So this is their outlet where they can get out the energy, and they can have fun and then feel better when they leave. And that's really our goal here. We don't want to beat you up so that the 23 hours you're not at the gym is just a constant state of recovery for that 1 hour that you're there. We want you to be able to love life and really enjoy it and be able to take hold. So that was a total tangent away from Kelly, but Kelly has been doing some type of nutrition for quite a long time. And I say nutrition and not diet because she counts her macros. And Kelly, can you talk a little bit about kind of what you do and what that is day to day?
I was thinking beforehand, I was like, oh my gosh, I need to have like numbers and statistics for this, but no. So it's kind of funny how we divide life up, but pre-COVID, for probably, oh gosh, several years, I was counting my macros. I hadn't changed them or adjusted them at all. I was having.
So macros is protein, carbs, and fat of each meal or every time that you eat throughout the day.
Yeah, and having like a specific goal in the day, like calorie wise and then macro wise. And I was just in a place where I felt good. I was having good workouts, and in general, I have a I like to think I have a positive body image, and I like feeling strong, and I like just knowing what my body can do at the gym. And that was just kind of my thought process, and that I wanted to like fuel my body properly, and then also enjoy my treats like my peanut M&Ms, etc. But
So
during
Kelly, when you talk about counting your macros, I know I used to hear that and I was like, cool, count your macros, but what does that actually mean? How do you do that?
like I should tell you like the math equation for how to do it.
No, but
I
just
put
like
it in, I use
you
my
weigh,
Fitness
right?
Pal,
Yeah.
and my macros are set in there, and I weigh the food, and it's based on um like using the
Yeah.
like
So
grams of protein per day.
you
And
can scan packages. Most
Mhm.
restaurants, you can type in an app like MyFitnessPal, you can type in what you ate and it'll pull it up for you. And over time, and Kelly's really good at this, you can start to eyeball things and get pretty good at it, where you can get a pretty accurate guess of it. But I used to think it was this kind of thing that was shrouded in mystery, and watching Kelly do it is, it's really kind of become an art form for her. She's very quick at it, very good at doing it. And I sometimes don't even recognize that she
well,
is.
in general, if within reason, always buy the same type of like chicken from the grocery store, the different vegetables you buy, it's already in my Fitness Pal for me. So like getting started takes a little bit longer, but once you're in it, you can like re-add items. And within my Fitness Pal, I know what my goals are for carbs and proteins and fats per day. So then you just base your meals off of that. And I meal prep and try and plan ahead of time as best as I can. Like, okay, I know now that I'm back at work, okay, I'm bringing this for breakfast and for lunch. And, is there going to be a snack in there? Like, then what's the idea of what we're probably going to have for dinner? And then just you kind of work it around that. And I wouldn't say it's easy, but just over time, yeah, it's gotten easier, because then I kind of know in my head of, okay, the one thing I'm always short on is my protein. And surprisingly now, with the nutrition challenge that we did in May, I was actually really short on carbs a lot, which was like super surprising to me, because my macros did readjust. So like I said, I used to track my macros, and then during COVID, I will completely admit all that was gone. And you think, working from home for a year, that I have all this extra time, and, I'll like meal prep even more, and I'll like do this during the day. And that did not happen. And it's almost better, like me being back at work now, having like the consistency, and like, okay, Sunday, here's the day, like what we just did, like meal prep and planning out my meals for the week. And with everything else, like this is work time, this is when I go to the gym time.
And Kelly does a really good job planning. And for those of you who don't know us or know us well, Kelly is the planner and I am the not planner. And that's something that I'm getting better at. But she does great with that. And one thing that I think is important to notice about this too, is that you can get meals or have meals pre kind of thought out ahead of time. And that takes a lot of the thinking off of it. So you don't have to just sit and think about it all the time. You put it in the app. So once it's recorded, it's in there. You don't have to think about it. But you can also, like, we were going on a trip this weekend and we stopped at Caribou. She got a breakfast sandwich. I did too. But she was able to put it right into my Fitness Pal. So it doesn't have to be preset out ahead of time. That's a great strategy to use, but not necessary if that isn't your personality or your style. I would make things kind of on the go, weigh them out, and then put them in. And it takes a couple minutes, right? But it's a great skill to have to be able to see where you're at. And Kelly talked about this during the nutrition challenge. She increased her carbs, which is something that most people, especially with the advent of keto and a number of other, fad diets, for lack of a better term, coming on, have taught you to cut carbs out, right? What's been your experience adding those carbs back in?
Well, when we first started the nutrition challenge, I'd gone about a year without tracking food in my Fitness Pal. So it was kind of like getting used to that again. And going up to the amount of carbs, I still had this mindset that I was like, I'm going to hit my carbs so easy every day. I'm going to go over. So I was really dialing it back. And I remember the first week, you know, it was just like some growing pains trying to figure it out. And I was having like barely any carbs throughout the day while I was at work, and I work out in the evenings. I'm a 5:30 p.m.er, and I was like so tired. We'd be doing the workouts and I would just feel gassed before we even started. And so then, you know, back to the drawing board, and I was like, okay, it's obviously the opposite problem. I'm not getting enough carbs. And it was, you know, not just trying to get them all in at night, but spreading it out throughout the day. And then
I did have some 10 p.m. Halo Top runs to the grocery store though. So I want everyone to know that.
Yes, I have no shame in that. So yeah, you know, something simple like, you know, I would meal prep and make tuna salad for the week. And I was like, yes, I can have like bread with that. And then it just something so simple, and like having some fruit or something before the gym, and just how much better I would feel. And that like, yes, it's okay. And it was, you know, there was a couple nights, yes, the Halo Top runs, or me like staying there like, oh gosh, I need like 10 more grams of protein. So I'm standing at the fridge with Nick, like eating lunch meat. And
that'll be the next video that comes out.
yeah. But you know, you start to like get the system down, and then also like you give yourself a little grace, because the goal during the nutrition challenge was it to be within like 5 grams of each one. And then so if one night at the end of the night I'm done, I'm not hungry anymore, I'm tired, and I needed, you know, 7 more grams of fat, like, well, that never happened. I would always go over on fat. So like 7 more grams of carbs, like it's okay. And
I think there's a few really good things to unpack here. And one that I was trying to get out of her, but she's probably too modest, is that she continued to lose weight during this time. And she doesn't necessarily need to lose weight, but she looks really good. So she did a great job with it. And I appreciate her body a lot.
but I also think, just no judgment against anyone. Like, you know, maybe some people like rocked it and kept everything going during COVID, but got a little fluffy. It's okay. So it's like getting back to where you were and just giving yourself some grace. And
I don't mean to point out weight loss or weight gain necessarily. What I do want to say though, or what I want to mention with this that I think is really helpful, is that increasing what you're eating sometimes. So in Kelly's case, the carbs, right? We bumped the carbs up, we adjusted a few other things, but it's not always about cutting down, right? That can help. And we need to be in a calorie deficit to lose weight. But sometimes what that does is it brings your metabolism down so low, you feel very low energy, you have trouble sleeping, and you're actually doing it a disservice, because you need to ramp that metabolism up, and that's going to start burning more. You're going to feel better in your workouts, and you're also going to start losing more weight. So it's counterintuitive, but it's helpful. Work with someone who knows their nutrition, or who knows how to help guide you through something like that to get your numbers figured out. Take the cover off of it, and you can see, and it's really easy once you have those, to then start attacking it and to start tracking them. So the process isn't all that complicated. We don't need information about it or information about these fad diets. We need a practical application of how do we do it. And once you do that, it doesn't have to be complicated.
Yeah, I was, you know, worried in the nutrition challenge. Like I remember seeing you at the beginning, I was like, I'm gonna be so hungry at night. And I wasn't. Like, I never felt like I was starving myself. I felt like I was eating enough. There were times where I was like, this just doesn't even like seem right. Like I'm full and I need more carbs. And, you know, it wasn't something like, you know, a fad diet where you're like, I lost 8 pounds in 1 week, where it was something for me, I think over the month or like 5 weeks that it was, that I lost 7 pounds. And you know, it's something, you know, it's summertime, so we're like traveling. So I like haven't been perfect, but I've still continued to track my macros and stay on track with what I was doing during the nutrition challenge. And it's not something like, oh yeah, I lost 7 pounds and now they're all back again. And it's not.
Well, when you look at it, what we're looking for with this is just across the board and agreed upon statistic, but 1 to 2 pounds a week is sustainable weight loss, right? And what we really preach at Southpaw, whether it's with fitness, with nutrition, whatever it happens to be, is that we want to build something sustainable. So if you want to eat peanut M&Ms, like we enjoy doing, you could eat peanut M&Ms. You just can't have 5 bags of it, right? You can fit it into a balanced lifestyle. And what that does is leads to long-term success. What we see with a ton of people, and I think this is a problem in the fitness industry generally, is that they start working out real hard for a week or a month, and then they get so sore, or their central nervous system is fried, or they get injured and they have to stop. And then they lose all the progress. They go to a place that was worse than before, and they have to start it all over again. Same thing with nutrition. They get on these diets that oftentimes aren't healthy. They are bad for their hormone balance, and they lose a lot of weight really fast. And you've probably seen this happen, but they're very hard to do. They're specific types of foods at specific times during the day. And it's not fun, right? It's not enjoyable at all. They fall off, and then they spiral back to worse than they were, a worse place than they were when they started. It's the yo-yo, right? Back, up and down, up and down, up and down. If we can find something that's sustainable, where you can develop habits and practices that you enjoy, that allow you to enjoy the things in life that bring you happiness, and you can do it in a way that, I don't know if fun is the right word, but it's not miserable, right? And it's something that you can see progress happening. It becomes much more sustainable, and that long-term success is what really breeds happiness, longevity.
And I think if for people who, might be thinking about trying to track their macros or whatever that they would be doing, is it can seem so overwhelming, or, I don't want it ever to be something that I feel like I have to obsess over, that my whole life is centered around what I'm eating when, and entering it and counting it and weighing it. And it's not. And, I have, like in general, like 3 different breakfasts that I like to eat at work. And so it's super quick. I get out like my little Tupperware, I weigh it, throw it in, it's all ready to go. I do it at night, so it's ready to go in the morning. It takes me 2 minutes. And, when you do it in steps, like, okay, I did my grocery shopping, whatever, on Thursday, and then Sunday I'm meal prepping. And then it's easy at night for me to divide things out, weigh it, and then so I can bring it with me tomorrow. And it doesn't have to be this, just eating away at your life and your free time. And then, there's like, this weekend we were gone, and am I like sitting at the table like, okay, counting every little thing? I was like, no, like life happens and it's okay. Yep. And, or I might not even like, you make conscious decisions like, okay, like, should I get the mozzarella sticks and tater tots and a chocolate milkshake? Like probably not, but can you make like, get like a grilled chicken wrap and
some
or
French
whatever.
fries,
yeah. And if you're not perfect, like one day isn't going to undo all of the work that you've done.
That's a really good point, Kelly. And I like, just to give in this case, I guess I'm the outsider's perspective on it. Like I see her track sometimes, but it's so quick. Like it takes very little time. It gives her really good information on what's going in. And that helps, if you're not tracking, it's going to be tough to know what you're putting in your body, and that negative voice in your head is going to keep going on. When we write things down or track them, I mean, thinking about shopping for groceries, like, I don't know what to get. We try to do all that for you. We have pre-made meal plans, grocery lists,
wonderful.
That we can just send to you. We want to help you offload as much of this as possible. You give us a little bit of data about what's going in and what your numbers are, and we can help work with that and take you to the spot that you want to be.
For me, I love to cook anyway. So the recipes that we got for the nutrition challenge, like, I got to learn some new things. I like tried some new ideas and some new recipes that just one that sticks out in my head. It was like chicken and chickpea salad, and it had like apples in it and sounded really weird. And it was like my favorite one through the nutrition challenge, like perfect macros. And there were just so many like good breakfast one. Like, yeah.
I eat a lot of egg whites, eggs. So one of the differences that Kelly loves to cook, and I wouldn't say I dislike cooking, but it's not as strength.
You're the grill master.
I'm the grill master, I guess. Another difference, as you can kind of see on the video, is that Kelly is usually very cold and I'm usually very warm. What you can't see is that there are sweatpants and cat slippers going on below the screen. So I have shorts and a t-shirt, but the balances help keep life fun. Kelly, thank you for coming on today. It's great to hear about kind of what you do. I guess I know about a lot
A
of
little
it.
bit, yeah.
But we'll bring you on again and talk more about talk more shop.